afternoon. Welcome to our All Recovery meeting. My name is Karen and I'm one of your recovery coaches.
Hi, I'm Raina. I'm also one of your recovery coaches here at Capital Recovery.
All right, so before we begin, as usual, we would like to give you guys some announcements.
All right, so we are coming into August. So our Recovery on Wheels is going to be out starting Wednesday the 3rd at Lolly's Liquor at 1428 East Buck Streetum Road from 10 to 2. And then, where's the Monday? Oh. And Monday the 1st at the Vineland Police Department from 10 to 2. We also have our different groups that we are holding here at the center that you are welcome to come in and take part in. On Tuesdays, we have, where is it?
We have our coffee and conversation.
Yeah, at 2 o'clock. And then we have our Men in Training MIT mentoring at 5 o'clock and our Gratitude Tuesday at 7 o'clock. So you are welcome to come out and join in any of those groups. And you can also come out and see us on the 3rd Saturday of the month, where we focus on the family dynamic in recovery. And that's from, we're open from 11 to 2, and the group is at noon, right? Yeah, noon to 1.
All right, so today we're going to talk about focusing on what we can control, and we're going to go through distress tolerance skills and emotion regulation skills. And these worksheets were provided by therapistaid.com. For anyone who's interested, they have really good things. All right, so do you want to begin?
Sure. So distress tolerance skills. Radical acceptance. It says sometimes you'll run into a problem that's simply out of your control. It can be easy to think this isn't fair or I shouldn't have this problem, even though those ways of thinking only make the pain worse. Radical acceptance refers to a healthier way of thinking during these situations. Instead of focusing on how you would like something to be different, you will recognize and accept the problem or situation as it is. Remember, accepting is not the same as liking or condoning something. Yeah, we're not always going to be happy with the way things go. Things aren't always going to go our way. And, being able to accept that that's just a part of life and that those are things that you're going to have, presented in your life, it's easier and less stressful to see things for what they are than what you think they should be, or what you expected them to be. And then technically it says, like, this isn't fair, I shouldn't have this problem. And I hate to say life isn't fair, but life isn't fair. It's how you react to it that makes all the difference. So this is learning to accept the problems that are out of your control would lead to less anxiety, anger, and sadness when dealing with them. Very, very true. So it gives an example here, a situation. You find out that you were not selected for a job where you felt that you were the best candidate. So typical thinking would be, this isn't fair. I did everything right. I was the best one there. They can't do this to me. So it's that very negative, self-centered mentality. And it may be true. You may be the best candidate, but that's not always everything that goes into play. Radical acceptance, however, is it's frustrating that I didn't get the job, but I accept that they felt someone else would be a better fit. So like it says, basically, like, I'm not happy about it, but I'm going to have to accept it.
Yeah. So another type of distress tolerance skills is self-soothe with senses. So find a pleasurable way to engage each of your 5 senses. Doing so will help to soothe your negative emotions. So for vision, it says, go for a walk somewhere nice and pay attention to the sights. For hearing, it says listen to something enjoyable such as music or nature. I like to listen to rain sounds. Touch is take a warm bath or get a massage. Taste, have a small treat. It doesn't have to be a full meal. And smell, find some flowers or spray a perfume or cologne you like.
I like these because these are all kind of like going with like coping skills that can be used for really any situation. And it's nice how it's broken down because a lot of times, you know, we think of coping skills as just like things that we physically do to help us get through, not so much, you know, like the smell aspect. It's not something that would be the first thing I would think of, but it can be very, you know, calming.
There's I know Bath and Body Works literally has a candle that says stress relief.
Yeah, the aromatherapy and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. And then we talk about it, like I know, like we light a candle in the house that smells nice, and it's just like, it's a more pleasant atmosphere to be in.
Juan commented, "It's a great day to be clean." Oh, that rainbow.
Hi, Juan.
Thank you for tuning in, Juan. All right. Yeah, the next one you can go.
All right, so this one is distracting, and it's the accepts acronym. So negative feelings will usually pass, or at least lessen in intensity over time. It can be valuable to distract yourself until the emotions subside. The acronym ACCEPT serves as a reminder of this idea. Like, this is nice because that's one piece of advice I always give people is, you know, feelings are temporary. They're going to go away. Things are going to change. You don't have to be stuck there or make, you know, like permanent decisions based on something temporary. So the acronym ACCEPTS, the first one is activities. Engage in activities that require thought and concentration. This could be a hobby, a project, work, or school. Let me keep going?
Yeah.
All right. Next one is contributing. Focus on someone or something other than yourself. You can volunteer, do a good deed, or do anything else that will contribute to a cause or person. This one's great because, like, I learned that, you know, when you feel like you're kind of stuck inside yourself and you're struggling with something, helping someone else can in turn help you get through what you're going through.
That's true. It does also, helping somebody else also makes you feel better. Just knowing that you were there for somebody else.
Yeah, it gives you like that kind of like little piece of hope that like, okay, like, you know, I'm not going to be stuck in this negative place. Things can get better. The next one is comparisons. Just look at your situation in comparison to something worse. Remember a time when I don't want to look at something worse. Let me keep going. Remember a time you were in more pain or when someone else was going through something more difficult. Yeah, so I guess it's more of the, you know, being like, we talk about like the gratitude, like being grateful for what you do have because it could be this.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah. Emotions. Do something that will create a competing emotion. Feeling sad, watch a funny movie. Feeling nervous, listen to soothing music. See, that's nice because like I have one of those people that has a tendency that's like, oh, I'm depressed. I don't want to get out of bed. Let me put on some like sappy, like miserable like stuff. Thinking it's like, oh, I'm just going to melt away into it. But, you know, it exactly just keeps you stuck where you are.
I have a comfort show. So I love watching Friends.
Okay.
And if I'm upset or stressed, I just, even though I've watched the series so many times, I just bury myself in it and it just takes it all away.
No, I get it. I used to do the Law and Order SVU marathon. So like, I saw them so many times, but it's just something familiar. You know what I mean? That's there while you're going about your day or whatever else. So the next one is pushing away. Do away with negative thoughts by pushing them out of your mind. Imagine writing your problem on a piece of paper, crumbling it up, and throwing it away. Refuse to think about the situation until a better time. And honestly, I would recommend physically writing down your problem on a piece of paper, crumbling it up, and throwing it away. Because there's something about like putting pen to paper that kind of gives that problem or that negative thought like its own life and makes it less that you're carrying around with you. And the next one is thoughts. When your emotions take over, try to focus on your thoughts. Count to 10, recite a poem in your head, or read a book. I don't think this one would work for me.
I do this a lot.
Do you?
Yes, especially when I'm in a situation where I'm very aggravated. I'm like, I tend to be very like reactive. So I'm working on not being reactive. So I'm like, okay, I take a deep breath and I count to 10 and it works. It works for me.
Yes, I'll say the serenity prayer, or a little like woosah
Yeah.
type of thing. But I like, for me, trying to focus on my thoughts is probably not the best idea because as an addict, I'm like obsessive thinking. So it's like, I just keep repeating the situation in my head. You know what I mean? And like trying to pick it apart and dissect it. So I'm better with like a distraction than like this one that they suggest. But let's see, sensations. Find safe physical sensations to distract you from intense negative emotions. Wear a rubber band and snap it on your wrist, hold an ice cube in your hand, or eat something sour like a lime.
Interesting.
When I started to read this, I didn't think that's where it was going to go. Like, I made me think of my daughter. She is obsessed with big pillows and fluffy throws and all these soft, cozy things. And like when she's like not feeling great, she just climbs in the bed and like all these soft, like comforting sensations like surrounding her. Like that's more where my brain was going. But like I know a lot of people who do the rubber band thing because they figure, okay, every time I had that thought, you like that little bit of like, boop, you know what I mean, to kind of help you retrain. Yeah, to retrain your thinking. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think what you said about your daughter can also be applied to this sensation.
Yeah.
Portion of it. I like to when I'm also feeling distressed, I like to go and pet my cats or my dogs.
I think that's a very common one.
Yeah.
Like pets can be a great way.
They're like so cute. So I'm like, how can I be angry?
And they love you unconditionally. So no matter what you do or what you're going through, they'll still come up and be like, I love you.
Alrighty, so the second part to this is emotion regulation skills. So emotion regulation skills, when you experience, this is opposite action. When you experience an emotion, a behavior usually comes with it. If you are angry, you might fight or argue. If you are sad, you might withdraw from your friends. Your body causes you to react to emotions in a specific way. Doing the opposite action will help you change your emotion. If you typically start to yell when you're angry, try talking quietly and politely. That is difficult.
That takes a lot of discipline and a lot of practice.
A lot of self-regulation.
Yeah.
I just rather not talk.
Let me just walk away before I say anything else.
If you withdraw when you are sad, make a point to visit a friend next time you feel this way.
That's a hard one too.
Yeah.
Cause like I don't want to like leave the house.
I'm sad, right?
Yeah. Everybody leave me alone.
So they have here, they categorized it. So like for instance, emotion, angry. So the action would be fight, yell, and argue. And the opposite action would be to talk quietly and behave politely. For the sad emotion, the typical action that your body does is withdraw from friends. And then the opposite action would be to visit and communicate with friends.
Yeah, I think both of those are something that takes some work to be able to achieve. And this part where it says, where was it? From your body causes you to react to emotions in a specific way. And I think that, like, I know sometimes, like, I'll get upset about something, I can literally feel my face get hot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, like the expression, you've got my blood boiling, like I will feel it in my face, and it's almost like a warning sign to like, okay, just take a breath before you do anything else.
When I get anxious or nervous, I get red too.
Yeah.
And then I get even more anxious or nervous that I feel like my feelings are very visible. And I'm like, stop it.
All right, so the next section is check the facts. Maybe you can look back at your life and think of a few situations where you overreacted. Or you might notice that something once felt like a big deal when it was pretty unimportant. You can check the facts in the moment to help reduce the intensity of these extreme emotions. So like I'm in a 12-step program, and that's kind of where I'm at right now, is taking a look at the way I react to things and the different situations and what has caused me to react that way and how I could react to it in a more positive way to kind of like go forward and minimize any damage being caused, because, you know, I feel my face burned and I want to like scream at people. So ask yourself the following questions to check the facts. 1, what event triggered my emotion? 2, what interpretations or assumptions am I making about the event? And 3, does my emotion and its intensity match the facts of the situation? Or does it just match my assumptions of the situation? So I think this is a really good one for if you're an overthinker like me. You know, like you might have a situation come up that, and you're like, okay, and then you like start thinking about it. The more you think about it, the more you're turning it into something it's not, and making this mountain out of a molehill, and then you're reacting to something that really isn't what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always good to kind of like, okay, you know what I mean? Take a look at those different things to keep everything in perspective.
Yeah, and it makes me think of, like you said about the overthinking. Usually, I mean, I know that I tend to get upset about things that, what if this would have happened, or what if this and that could have happened? And I guess that's checking the facts and responding to what's presently happening, not what the what ifs, the could haves, the should haves.
Yeah.
All right. The next one is please. So it's an acronym. Your body and mind are closely linked, and the health of one directly affects the other. An unhealthy body will make it difficult to manage your emotions. The acronym PLEASE can be used to help you remember important aspects of this connection. So the PL stands for treat physical illness. And the E is for eat healthy. The A is for avoid mood altering drugs. The S is for sleep well, and the E is for exercise. So part of regulating your emotions is also taking care of your body, according to the PLEASE acronym.
And when you're not feeling well, it changes like your mood and your thinking when you're physically not feeling well. So it's also an unhealthy body. Like I have an autoimmune disease, and when my body acts up, it makes me sad and angry. Like talk about why is this happening to me? You know what I mean? And like it just affects like everything around you. I think I always tease because like my kids, they're all grown, but like when they're like sick, or even I still do. I'm almost 42, and I'm like, oh, my mom. You start to like it like affects every part of you. So, but so like doing these positive things to help is definitely something that will help turn that around. Excuse me. Let's see, paying attention to positive events. It's only human. Most people give more attention to the bad things than the good. If you hear 10 compliments and a single criticism, you're probably focused on the criticism. Yep, absolutely. If you notice yourself focusing on the negative aspects of an experience, try to stop and refocus on the positive. Practice by doing a small positive activity every day while making a point to acknowledge the good parts, even if things aren't perfect. Don't let minor problems ruin the moment. And I'm just going to give you guys an example of this that I had recently. My fellowship went on a kayaking trip, and it was a great trip, had a lot of fun, but there were just certain things as we went. So like the water was low, we kept getting stuck on rocks and having to like push through and push through. And at one point there was real big spot and I had to get out and help somebody over and then try and get back on track. And there were all these obstacles in the way, including my car key going into the water.
Oh my
So, but a friend of mine was like, found it. I was like, oh my God. But I say all that because regardless of all these obstacles that we encountered, it was an enjoyable day. But if we had just focused on the fact that like, oh, I got stuck on this rock and that's all that you're looking at, you're missing out on like positive events that you're participating in and are involved in. So that's my little analogy for this.
Some things aren't always as bad as they seem.
Yeah.
So if you do focus on all the negatives, you are projecting
Negativity.
Negativity. You're making things bigger than what they really are.
Yes, like the whole concept of like manifestation. If you're always thinking bad or things or this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and I can't do this and I can't do that, that's what's going to be. You're going to convince yourself that that's how things are. Mm-hmm. But if you start thinking, okay, well, I know we got stuck on that, but then the rest of it was really nice, and we had it's just that like perspective. So adding one or two positive activities won't change your life, but over time, the happiness they create will start to add up. Here are a few ideas for quick positive activities to get you started. Have a good unrushed meal. I find that very hard to do these days. I feel like everything in my life is rushed since graduation. It's just been a nonstop blur. Visit a local attraction like a zoo or museum. Have a picnic. I like both of those because when it's not 110 degrees out, on my lunch break, I will go down by the zoo here in Bridgeton and I'll sit at the water and, you know what I mean? Just, enjoy the atmosphere.
And it's free. And you can also go to is it the Cape May?
Cape May Zoo?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really nice zoo as well. It's pretty big. It's also free. So it doesn't have to be an expensive activity.
No, just be something like just driving down there and sitting for like the 40 minutes or whatever. It's just like a nice little way to break up my day and keep things, positive. Watch a movie, go for a walk. I know a lot of people, they're going for a walk, even if it's like one of those situations where it's like, I need to cool down. It can be a positive experience. Give yourself a relaxing night in. Don't know many of them anymore either. Visit with friends or family. Put on headphones and do nothing but listen to music. Or try a new hobby.
Yeah, I did this recently, put on headphones and do nothing but listen to music. So my house, I feel like it's very chaotic. Not really. I might be exaggerating, but there's always something going on or someone doing some type of noise. If it's not a person, it's the animals. So when I went to West Virginia, and it was the first time away from everyone, like my family, and so I literally had the chance to finally sit down in peace and listen to music. I haven't really listened to music in a while, so that was very, very nice.
Nice, yeah. I'll do that. I'll throw in like a headphone or whatever, or you know what I mean, and just draw or just something in my own little space because my house is chaotic too. There's always someone running around, a baby screaming. It's just like I've never spent so much time in my bedroom. But it's a way for me, like, you know what I mean, to decompress, and I go in there and turn on TV really loud or listen to music and forget there's chaos in my living room.
Good, that's your safe space.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a good thing too, because like I know some people aren't really big into like decorating or why do you have this stuff? You got so much stuff on the walls or whatever. I think creating a space where you feel comfortable and you know it's conducive to like your personality or your experiences or how you want to feel is very important. You know what I mean? Like especially if it's like a bedroom situation, because it's nothing you got to share with the rest of the world that comes in your house or anything. It's, you know what I mean? It should be an area that's calming and, you know, good for you.
That is interesting. I have my bedroom is structured where there's like a chimney divided.
Oh,
And I
okay.
always joke around because I have my little corner and my desk is there, all my art stuff, my office stuff, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I can sit down and do homework or do whatever I want. And then my boyfriend has his little corner, and then he has all his games, all his posters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just interesting to see those two different dynamics, and we call those our safe spaces.
Yeah, it's important to have that.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you for those who joined us or will watch this later. Yeah, if you have any questions, please come to the center. We would love to have you guys here in person and participate in these activities.